friends. So nice to see you, brothers and sisters all. We are here. I want to do a slightly different thing than we usually do tonight. I hope you'll find it interesting. But I want to veer off from the idea of news. I just there's sometimes when I just find it's a movie. We're watching a movie, and those who are aware understand what that means. It means that everything is, whether or not the new Clarity Act gets passed, you're holding on to it, but it's like it's already been decided by the White Hats when the Clarity Act is going to be resolved. They've already resolved. They've already, in my opinion, they've already arrested a lot of these players. I think I'm going to have to get up and close the window. It's a bit brisk up here. I want to take a slightly different turn to on tonight's video. Just let me just get up and close this window. It's an interesting situation living at 4,500 feet. I know I have friends in Colorado who live at 7,000 feet, but there are challenges here that you don't have in town at 3,000 feet or 2,000 feet. However, that the same idea, the same metaphor holds for our lives, and that's what I really want to talk about tonight. Adrian, good to see you. What I want to talk about tonight, and I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to sustain a long discourse on this subject, but I think it's a pivotal and highly important thing that we as observers of this transformation need to consider. It's in the same, it's in alignment with the idea of we are the news. What does that mean? We are the news. Like we are active. We are the Clarity Act. We are gold destroys the Fed. We are the war in Iran. We are so much more than those things that most people, and people in particular of this particular tribe, we have like a tribe. We have a mindset here that is different from mainstream mindsets, and that's why you're here on this channel. I was just looking at Joe Rogan. What an idiot! Somebody's asking him, "Do you think we're really going to have a problem with this?" It's like, Joe Rogan. Are you kidding me? What? How would he know anything? The guy's a blithering idiot. He interviews all these people, and he's like, "Whoa, that's amazing." I'm just, and this is, and these aren't even mainstream people. These are the people of the kind of mainstream MAGA people, the kind of maybe the mainstream awakened people, awakened in the sense of the Great Awakening. What I want to talk about is something that has fascinated me for my whole life, really, and that is the idea. And okay, so what I'm presenting here is it's not a colossally original thought. Yes, yet it is. And let me just try to clarify to put it in simple terms. It's not a simple concept, but I do want to put it. I want to try to put it as simply as possible, and then I want to get into the details around this idea. We are the news. What does that mean from our point of view? Not from Q's point of view, not from the point of view of the awakening of the digital soldiers who have done, by the way, an unbelievably impossible job what I'm trying to say, I forgive me for sort of bouncing around and not getting right to what I really want to deal with. And by the way, I'm back on YouTube, so that's a wonderful thing. And James is like, he's like, please, we want to get monetized. I mean, my partner James up here, he's like, please don't say anything about COVID anymore. He's like, you have to stay on YouTube. He's been following me for years, and he says, I disappear for a couple of years, for a couple of months, and then I show up again. But I do feel that it was important to make a fuss about the medical issue. I'll leave it at that. What I want to talk about, I'm trying to think of a way to say it simply, is you. I'm talking about you now. I realize Q was nonsense a few years ago. No, Q was not nonsense. I don't know who's saying this. Are you serious? Q is nonsense? You're nonsense. I mean, that's insane. The Q is not nonsense. Um, yeah. So, if you think Q is nonsense, it's not nonsense. This was the greatest intelligence operation that ever, ever. And Q is the Army of Virginia. In my opinion, it's not some smart dude. It's a major intelligence faction that has revealed this information. But that's not what I want to talk about. What I want to talk about is, and I don't have the language for it. There's no like in Hasidus, in mystic Yiddishkeit, without the Q operation, we wouldn't be here today. Absolutely. To say that Q is, I figured out Q is, you must have figured out that you're an idiot. You're probably a bot. But this is what I want to say, and that I don't have the language to say this, but I'm going to try to define what I'm talking about. Like what I learned when I learned a lot of Hasidus, when I learned a lot of mystic Judaism, there were some terms that you can't translate. Like a lot of times I talk about kavana, the word kavana. The word kavana in Hebrew means your intent, but it means so much more than intent. It means your etzem, your essence, your kavana, your reason to be. I remember I went to early in my Hasidic years. I went to a Shabbos, and they were talking. Everybody was talking about kavana, and I was like, "What? What are they talking about?" It took me years to really understand. Kavana means like what you really are excited about, what your intent is. It's really what your soul is. Your kavana is your soul. It's you. So in Hasidic terminology, in the vocabulary, there's certain, or that's actually a Hebrew word. It's not even really a Hasidic term per se. So there, what I'm trying to say is that there are certain words in Hebrew that you can't really explain it properly in English. Okay, kavana is one of those words. You would say, oh, that's your intent, and that could be like, oh, your intent is like your job or something. It's like, no, kavana is your essence. Kavana means your intent, your soul's intent, your real purpose, and it's associated also with the word like purpose. But there are words in Hebrew, in Yiddish, and in Hasidus, in mystic Yiddishkeit, that don't translate well into other languages. The thing that I am trying to define, I can't think of a single word. Maybe you guys can help me, that will define what I'm trying to define. What I'm trying to define, and now here I'm going to finally get to the point, is if you take an IQ test, if you are considered a successful person, if you have always been successful, no matter what you do, you have been successful. You have been rewarded. You have been awarded accolades from the mainstream, from the cabal. You scored high in school. You did exactly what the teachers said. You always pay your bills on time. You're a teacher's dream. You're the goody goody of goody goodies, man. And you have benefited widely for it. Or even if you have just been following the normies and you're a great normie, um, I mean, it. I think of my brother, my little brother, a lot in this aspect. My little brother is very high powered student. He was a very high powered student. He was recruited out of into the CIA right during his college years. He became he joined the State Department. He was a foreign diplomat. I mean, he ended up becoming the Assistant Secretary of State under Obama. He ended up traveling on all over with Obama. He was the I know my brother. I mean, I raised my brother. My brother was 5 years younger than me, but he's incredibly successful in this respect. He was the Assistant Secretary of Defense in charge of nuclear, biological, and chemical weapons under Obama. He flew around on Air Force One. He still is employed by these creeps. He is a model. And I love my brother. I wish I could still talk to him. But what I'm saying is there's a type of mentality that will make you a very successful people. On the other hand, I'm the black sheep. I'm sure a lot of you can identify what I'm saying. I'm the black sheep of the family, right? I still, I just got a check from my mother. My mother sent me a check. We don't have a lot of money here. We're trying, if you want to, let's see if I can put some, yeah. Daniela is always telling me I should put this up. If you feel like you want to join our community, we are building a community. You want to give to the community, you will be helping feed the people that come up here and are building the structures that you may live in someday. That's what I'm envisioning up here. But okay, so my brother has all this skill, all this talent. He's been successful. He was the Assistant Secretary of Defense. He's still, he's still working as an advisor for the parasites. I, on the other hand, I'm really in terms of. Thank you so much. Is this the same cup? This is the fourth. No, okay. In terms of like, if you look at somebody's like, are they successful or are they not? I would be considered an abject failure. I mean, I lost my job after 20 years as a public school teacher. I could barely keep my job for 20 years. It was a struggle just to keep a job. And like, do I have a high IQ? Well, yes. But that's not the point. The point is that I have a kind of creative intelligence that allows me to do things that are outside the box and are not in alignment with the mainstream. It'll never make me like the vice. I'll never be admitted into. I mean, I don't think into a presidential cabinet, that kind of thing. However, and this is my point, the type of person that you are isn't going to get necessarily any accolades from the fuckheads that run the world, right? They want people who are obedient, who can toe the line, who year after year are consistently doing exactly what they want, who never give them problems, who never question the system. You are not those people. You would not be on this channel. excuse my French. I mean, it angers me to the core because you and I have been led to believe that we are not as good as those people who are successful in the system. They make a lot of money, they've kept their jobs, they retire, they travel, they have, all this stuff. You are so much more. And you've probably been struggling all your life. You probably failed at this. You probably, I mean, a lot of people that I know and very close to were suicidal. You probably got into drugs and weird stuff during your voyage on this planet, and you looked at the people who were your brothers and sisters were like, wow, she's the vice president of this, or she became a lawyer, and and we've been harboring the idea that we're less than, we just don't cut it. We just, like in the Department of Education, I cried myself to sleep every night because there were teachers who were blithering idiots who couldn't find their tuchus with both hands. They're just idiots who do exactly what the administration wants, and they get accolades and they get these glowing reports. Remember, the Department of Education and probably everywhere else, they do all this data stuff, and they rate you. Are you highly effective, developing, or ineffective? So I was always bordering between ineffective and developing. Those are the ratings. Once in a while, I'd get an effective, never a highly effective. But so I went through 20 years thinking to myself, I just don't get it, man. At one point I said to myself, I'm not trying hard enough. I need to really manifest. I really need to get with the program. And I started reading all these books about education. You have to do this in the classroom. You have to do that in the classroom. None of it worked for me. It works for the coach, the guy who's a natural coach, who knows how to discipline people, who knows how to line people up, who knows how to create an atmosphere of abject fear. I don't do that. I never will. So I just went through 20 years, and I'm thinking to myself, like, once in a while I would see somebody else's that I considered an absolute idiot with like highly effective, highly effective. I'm like pulling my hair out. I'm like, I'm developing at best. On a good day, I'm a developing teacher. And I'm just reaching out, lead counsel at the Matrix Anonymous. Right. Exactly. But I could be, like, hi, my name is Ellie. I'm a Matrix. I'm a Matrixholic. I forget what I called it. I had a word for it, but I can't really make it in the Matrix. I was joking about people who couldn't leave the Matrix. They can't. They don't know how. But yeah, I could be like, the anonymous program, the anonymous program. But I don't think that I am unusual, and I think that we as a community are carrying this frequency of incredible depth, incredible wealth of knowledge, incredible emotional ability. And as an example, I use James. James contacted me, says, I want to leave the Matrix. I want to come and be with you. James, James would be considered probably a failure in the Matrix. He just, he's not rich. He has a car that has 400,000 miles on it. I don't know how he got it up here, but he's able to live out of a couple of plastic containers. He sleeps, he doesn't need much to survive. And yet he is an abject genius when it comes to growing plants. I mean, he has a personal relationship with every plant, and there are hundreds in our garden. It's a genius. This is a genius of geniuses. But he can't. He in the Matrix. He's like he's a nobody. And I think I'm not alone. And I'm giving air. Joe Rogan, man. I mean, you're an idiot. I listened to 2 minutes. I'm like, this guy gets millions of hits. So I should feel like an ineffective podcaster, right? But I don't, because I've been doing this for 71 years. I've been in the beginning. I told you when I first started in the school system, in about third grade, they took me aside, and my parents were there, and they told me, "You got it, man. You got all the goods to be incredibly successful." And I just told them, I said, I'm not going, I'm not doing this. I'm not doing this. I'm not your pigeon. I mean, I didn't know what I was saying, but it just irked me to the core. They were like, you have all this ability, you have all this. I'm like, no, I don't. I'm not there. I mean, now I'm thinking, like, I was basically telling them, I'm not doing it. I'm not playing your game. And I'm just saying that I'm giving voice to all the people out there who, like James, have studied and suffered and gone without, and watched people with 1/10 of the ability that they have become very successful. I'm giving voice and authority, and I'm giving you all licenses to be. That you might be tagged. I was talking to a friend from my former community, and she said, I have to stay in the city. I have family here, and I said the righteous know where they're supposed to be, and she said, I'm not righteous. I'm like, fuck, you aren't righteous. Who says you're not righteous? You're not righteous because a rabbi says maybe you had a sinful thought 50 years ago. What makes you not righteous? That you don't, I mean, you are righteous. You don't need the license. That's this whole corrupt system has broken everything down to, are you certified? I'm like, I'm certifiable. I'm not certified. I am certifiable in your system. I've been put away. I mean, I had drug addictions. I've been put away, and honestly, people are like, Ellie, don't tell people that. The best people I've ever met were inside those institutions. I mean, the closest relationships, the most meaningful relationships that I probably ever had with strangers was in a rehab or in an AA meeting. But now I've come out of the AA meeting. I don't go to meetings anymore because everyone I meet is my best friend, is my brother or sister. Even if you're a normie, I still love you. I may observe you, I may comment about you on the channel, but I I care about you. You're a human being. And I think that I don't have a vocabulary word. It was always about money with Ellie, but he doesn't care. Right. Yeah, that's great. Great. Thank you. Um, right. There are these, whatever. I'm not going to get distracted by them. This is important. The trolls don't understand. The trolls are trolls. Um, for 20 years, I'm not a yes man and very controversial. They gave me Employee of the Year, thinking I would become their yes man. Yeah. Well, you were lucky. You got to be Employee of the Year. I never even approached. They couldn't sweep me out fast enough. But without the cue cut, yeah. So, but okay. So that's it. I just want to give air to this, that you may have been like considered a failure in the matrix. However, you it to me, when I say at the end of the broadcast, you are like Neo, you are the one. I really mean that. I'm not saying that just like, okay, yeah, that sounds cool. You are the one. You are really the one. And you may not have the license or the medals to prove it, but so where does this go? What's the next step to this? The next step is to consider how a person like myself, who's what was the word, is uh, not ineffective, but I have potential. I mean, I forget the word, but the idea that somebody, like, I think your goal should be to have a foot in the matrix and foot out. You have to be dependent and not responsible and so forth. That at least acknowledge that both places exist. Yeah, I think that's a good place to hold, Matthew. I agree. I'm not interested. I'm not interested in any way, shape, or form of having any association. The less I deal with the matrix, the better. I suffer by. I have to. We go on supply routes. We go into town, and it's hard for me. I don't like the time I have to spend in town. I like to be up here in the world of ideas, in the world of what I consider reality. But yeah, I think you're right. Wherever you're holding is where you're supposed to be holding. I don't want to have anything to do with the matrix. And what for other like what for other reasons? Okay, so our goal should be to have a foot in the. I don't agree with you, Matt. I mean, for me personally, my goal is to leave the matrix completely. I don't see anything good about the matrix. Nothing, zero, zilch. Okay, I don't like their forms. I don't like their licenses. I don't like the whole system. I just don't. I never have, and I don't want to have anything to do with it. And furthermore, time for everyone to break the matrix mold. I think so, and I'm not criticizing you, Matt. I have a lot of respect for you, believe it or not. I mean, well, not believe it or not, but I have a lot of respect for you. The idea of you shared the idea of being a student of enlightenment, and I think that's a very rich way to put where we're holding. But I don't want to have anything to do with the matrix. I don't want to have one foot in it. I what medication? Okay, so we do have an associate. You can't help but be associated with matrix. But the point is like this: we we are trying to establish a community that works beyond the matrix. Do we still need money to eat? Yes, we do. I get a certain amount of money from my Social Security. I get a little bit from my pension, and we use that to build this community. We buy things cheaply. We figure out ways around things. We rely on the goodness of the divine spirit, in my opinion. Um, has the sun really changed back to its golden? I think so. I think the weather has changed. I believe that. And we're seeing clouds like we haven't seen in the last 2 years. So yes, I do believe that. So, but the point that I'm trying to make is that there are two types of individuals. There are two, and they are both inhabited by people that are different. I just had a discussion with somebody who's studying Dolores Cannon and her teachings, and she talks about forming the formation of two distinct worlds. There will be people who want to stay in this matrix world, and there will be people who want to get red pilled and want to live outside the matrix. What I want to say about the next step, money is energy. Yes, money is energy. I haven't figured out how to, I've whatever. Yes, money is energy, And I'm not saying money is bad. I'm not saying money is bad. What I'm saying is that if you can operate in a way that respects who you truly are, your inner kavana, and if you're willing to suspend disbelief in the idea that you can't really do that, it's not possible, you will do the impossible routinely. And that's what we do up here. We are building a house in the middle of the Mojave Desert. Who does that? With no money. We're not getting a prefab metal building. No offense to those who have those. But we are putting our energy into building our own structure and into building our own structures in the future. In other words, let's say you're a person who has a lot of talent. This is very much in line with Ayn Rand's Atlas Shrugged, that if you're a person who's a real inventor, a real talent, a real creator, and you've been dissed like James by the Matrix all your life, and you want to live in a way where you don't have to grovel for money. Yes, money is energy, but you want to live in a way where you don't need a middleman. You don't need the money to create. If you want to live in a world where you're growing your own food, building your own housing. James wants to build a house underground. You could do that on this land. You could do that in this community if you're willing to work and live with us and get along with us and help us. So just like in Ayn Rand's, they had Galt's Gulch, we are creating a place called Guru's Gulch where people can live outside the matrix. Uh, you know, like James, let's say for example, James does not. I mean, he has some money on the side. He has his own source of income, but he had a bass guitar that he truly loves in Hawk in California. So he needed some money to go get his bass. So together we went today. We rented a car. He took off for California. He's driving 800 miles away to go to a pawn shop somewhere, pick up his bass, and come back. So he can do what he really loves to do, which is raise chickens, breed chickens, raise different plants, build his own housing, live like they did in Galt's Gulch, in Ayn Rand's book. We are creating a community above worlds, above the matrix, outside the matrix. And this channel is part of that structure. This channel is where we lay out the ideas. Now, I'm kind of thinking that we are going to be moving more and more beyond the news because it's all a movie, and we want to start doing the impossible routinely, which is what we do every day up here. I got a roof on the second floor now. I built my own studio. I'm in my own studio. Thought about this studio for years, how the sunlight was going to reflect. I mean, is it perfect? Probably, if I had another chance to build it, I would build it slightly differently. But this is an attempt with the knowledge that I had. This was my way of accomplishing a studio where you could actually see the background by letting in the sunshine from the side. It has to do with exposure, but this is the kind of thing you can do in Guru's Gulch. You can live like Daniela is now becoming a bit of a star in her own right. She's making videos on Instagram. She's sharing her health ideas. She's getting to pursue what she really loves. What? Follow her on Instagram and TikTok, right? She wants you to follow her on Instagram and TikTok. I don't know if I can find that. PayPal Rodriguez. Let's see. Movement of creators. Um, Okay, I don't know if I can find her. You may have to do it again. Here's something. What's this? Uh, Seventh dimensional markets. Is that you? No, that's not you. Okay, I don't know what that is. Let's see. But anyway, so she is creating her own world. She is doing what she loves to do. Here's her Instagram. Okay, here's her Instagram channel. You could follow her on Instagram. I'm helping her. I'm helping her and James create a YouTube channel that deals with homesteading. If you are a budding, if you want to communicate with the world in the way that I like to do, or that you want to come up here and build your own structure on the mountainside, build a house underground, and help us with the vegetables, help us with the chicken, help us with the cooking, and we'll be having goats soon. We'll be milking our own goats and this kind of stuff. And you don't want to deal with traffic tickets, and you don't want to deal with all your little payments, and maybe you just want to escape like they did in Galt's Gulch. You could come here, or you could support us up here. You could fund your future here. Like like, I mean, kudos to Diane. If she's listening, I mean, you are a lifesaver. But we are creating a humanitarian project, and yes, we have gone through the hi, who's that? Bling. Hi. We have let me move a little bit. I haven't quite learned how to deal with the lighting situation, but I will. We okay. So this is information. She's more forthcoming about wanting to succeed in this business, but she is living her dream. She is a woman who had speech issues, and she's come up here, and through the LifeWave patches she's speaking beautifully, and she's making videos. What? She wants to make money. Okay, so her dream is to make money. So I'm totally, I'm with it, whatever you want. But the point is that we are creating community both online and up here, where you can live your dreams. Okay, now here's the thing: is that you are the one. You are the one who can save yourself. You don't have, I've been saying this for a long time. I need that we're not waiting for a savior. By the way, I want to give a shout out to Brian Bess, spiritualbeancoffee.com, and the best organic coffee there is, made in small batches by Brian himself. And if you're in Prescott, Arizona, go to his coffee shop. The point is, James and I, we live here. We live on the land. This is 170 acres of potential. We don't know where it's going. It depends on who comes up here and how we create. Not everyone is made for this life. You won't get to like sit on a couch at night and watch TV. I mean, we do something like that, but you won't, at least at first, you won't have all the comforts of home unless you come up here with your own little camper, and then you'll have that to live in, and that could be your comfort space. I mean, that would probably be the best way for you to come up here. But if you're interested in the community. But what I'm interested in, and what I'm trying to define, is that, like, an underground house, right? Genius idea. An underground house. Yeah, that's what James wants to do, because the climate is so harsh up here. If you are interested in architectural design, not like, oh, I'm going to buy a tiny house and it's only $30,000. None of that shit. If you want to come up here with lumber that we get from the sawmill, With glass we get from used glass place, with plywood that we found a way to buy it cheaply, or however you want to do it. You may want to do it with cement, or we're not so into cement, but you may want to do it out of hempcrete. You could come here and build your own house and live here. We're not, if you can help us financially, that would be great. If you can't help us financially, that would be great. If you're coming up here to create on the land. How about you hop in your body and do something with yourself instead of harassing people? That's beautiful. I love that, man. You're a genius. Um, so yeah. Anyway, the point is there are two types of people. Actually, there are infinite types of people, but I'm just lumping everyone into two categories. There are people who want to be in the mainstream, who want to be successful, who are successful at their job, and they want to retire and all that stuff, and go to a what do you call it, a active living home, and just live out the rest of your days. That God bless you. That's beautiful. We are not those people. We do the impossible every single day. Every single day, we do impossible things. And that's what you are capable of. If you're on this channel and you've been listening to this kind of thought stream, you are probably the kind of person who didn't necessarily have such an easy time of it. But you knew there was something special about you. And now you may have a few years on you. You may have gone through some hard times, and now you want to be yourself. You don't want to just be a cog in the matrix. You could come to Guru's Gulch, or you could do your own thing. I mean, you could come here. You could learn how to build. You could learn how to, we're looking for a good chef. You could learn how to sustain an organic community with keto cooking, keto desserts, and this kind of thing. I'm watching a very beautiful hawk is flying on the other direction. I could probably show it to you. I don't know if you can see him up there, but that could be you. Okay, so you could be a high flyer in the world. You could be like Ayn Rand's Galt's Gulch, and you could come up and you're an inventor. Just like if you look at Ayn Rand's book, if you think of Ayn Rand's book, the people who were incredibly successful, the guy invented a new type of light steel, and he was ostracized by everybody. He was given a hard time by everybody, and they finally burned down his place. That's how they treat people who have talent in the world. What we're saying is it's time now for the people who really do have the talent and understand the idea, the difference between the matrix and actually doing something with your life, that it's time for you to do it, to be yourself. And I'm not saying you have to come up here. It's just that I want people to recognize that there is a level of successful thinking, a bunch of successful, very highly successful people that have never been recognized. And you're probably one of those kind of people if you're on this channel. Is this a new one? It's awesome. I also, and this is no comment or to put, here's my username. What? Add me up. Add me up on Discord. I don't know what that is. You probably know what that is. Am handling something at the moment. I don't know. I don't know what this is from. I can't. Novak. Novak. Yeah, I don't know. Yo, man, that's good. Okay, so cool. So if you want to reach out to me, the way to do it is to send an email to kabbalahguru@gmail.com. KABBALAHGURU at gmail.com. You can say things like, I want to come there in 6 months, but I have to finish up some stuff. I want to help you. I want to design a new kind of building structure, and I need the time and the materials to do this kind of thing. We're all about that. Well, you'll come up here and you'll struggle with us. You will do the impossible on a daily basis, just like they did at Galt's Gulch. Remember, they came up with a new kind of motor there. They had a different technology. We will probably have people come up here with that kind of knowledge to invent new technology. We'll be like kind of like modern Amish people in a sense, using the internet and using communication platforms and using YouTube. I suspect the Amish do as well. John Galt. Who is John Galt? Well, John Galt is you. It is the person within the society that is too creative to be understood by the creeps who run the system. That's why I feel as a teacher, very advocate with everyone I meet. To contain 30 kids, sitting down, no. Was it even worth trying? I don't think so, but they did. And the people who were able to get these people to sit in their seats and do what they wanted were considered effective, highly effective. I never got that. But I don't think that what I had to offer my students was insignificant or meaningless. People are either creative or destructive, right? Good or evil. That's an answer. That's a good way to look at it. So I'm calling out to the people who are creative. If you're an evil person and your whole intent is to destroy, you're probably already doing fine in the Matrix. Although things may change soon. Things are changing rapidly. There's a new sun in the sky. I think so. Here's my username. Yeah, you'll have to reach out to us on Gmail. You let another life rent. You let another's life. We're supposed to put some. Yeah, there you go, man. I love these guys. They just identify themselves right away as being absolute assholes, and it's so good that you let me know. Painting my deck with linseed oil and Amish wood preserve. Yeah, there's all kinds of new technologies. We don't use chemical materials up here by and large, although I am fixing to paint my roof with a kind of roofing material. But anyway, that's really all I want to say. I'm not interested in the news. Is the Clarity Act going to be passed on the 29th? They've had this plan for probably 50 years. They use time machines. There's nothing new there. What's new is a new respect for yourself, for your dreams, for your creative abilities, for your etzem, for your essence, and for your kavana. Kavana, your purpose, your reason to be, your real reason to be is not just to make money. Your real reason to be is to create. Like Daniela says, she wants to make money. But really, Daniela is all about health. She spends 24/7 and helping people, and really helping. She would like to make money. So would I. But it's not. It's in there. It's in the mix. And, YouTube, the Department of Education, they all want me not to make money. That's okay. I'm still doing what I love to do. Will it eventually give me financial reward? I believe so, even if it's only from knowing about investing, buying a little silver, buying a little XRP. I saw a tape, by the way, where this guy was saying it's absolutely impossible for XRP to go to $1,000 because of this and this, because of the matrix rules. And I'm thinking to myself, you're an idiot. We're not dealing with matrix rules. We're dealing with kavana, with purpose. with something that has utility. XRP has utility. There's never been anything like it, right? And will it go to 1,000? I think it's going to go to 100,000 like this. When the world is changed into a world that respects utility, that expects purpose, a sense of purpose, that is divinity. Divine things understand that they're here to create and help people create. They're not here to, climb the ladder of success and climb over this one and climb over that one and defeat this demon, and that's for the normies. That's for the people of the Matrix. Whether they're non-character players or real people, we don't know. But I just think that it's a new morning, that it's a new sun in the sky, that there's a new kavana, a new sense of purpose, a sense of valuing people, valuing what makes you different. I mean, I value Daniela. She's not like anybody I've ever met before. She's very different. And in my better moments, I totally appreciate the fact that she has overcome all obstacles. She is relentlessly driven. By the way, we don't drink up here. I'm a recovering alcoholic. Would I want to deal with people who are drinking? No. I think it's an escape. I don't really condone it. Could you smoke up once in a while? Yeah, once in a while. I guess if we know some people that are heavily addicted to smoking. And I think if she's on the channel, she knows who I'm talking about. But I'm not crazy about the idea. I think if you were to smoke or drink every couple of months, maybe a little bit, it's probably okay. But we are focused on creativity, on getting the impossible done. And I want to conclude with a story that I've told many times, and that is the story of my friend Vinicio, who reminds me very much of James. But my friend Vinicio, when I had a construction company, and I had 10 guys working for me, very good carpenters. He just came to my job site. He had no carpentry experience, but he had the kavana. He had the attitude that he could do whatever he wanted to do. Nothing was impossible to him. Nothing was. So I would ask my carpenters, could you repair this antique box? And they'd be like, Ellie, that's impossible. There's no way. I just don't. There's no way we can do it. And I would ask them down the line. I would run through all my carpenters. Could you help us with this? No, it can't be done. And I would ask Vinicio. I would say, could you fix this box, this antique box for my customer? He goes, no problema. It wasn't even a question for him. Of course he could fix it. And that's the kind of people that we are hoping to attract for the channel. And I'm sure if you're on the channel, you're one of those kind of people. And for this community, this growing community that I think has tremendous possibility to be a model for communities throughout the world, that we're creating another Star Fort. We're going back to Tartarian ideas of utilizing vibrations and working with nature. We're not creating fortresses here. I'm not creating a house so I'm safe from the elements. I'm creating a house that works with the elements. And if you want to build a house underground, and you have the wherewithal and the drive and the purpose, and you're willing to deal with defeat day after day, sometimes that's what it takes. You have grit. You have to have grit to be up here. And you have to have grit in order to succeed. Somebody who is not a natural matrix bootlicker. if you're not of that mold, and you've been told, you can't get it, man. You're ineffective. I mean, ineffective, not, you know, ineffective. That's what I was rated year after year as or developing as a school teacher. Developing, you're developing. I'm like, really? I'm developing? And these people who follow the rules, who do it and discipline their kids and get them to, I mean, I got probably more kids to pass the Regents than anybody else, but I did it my way. They don't like that. They want everyone to be uh, they want to be them to be slaves to the system, to be able to discipline themselves. I met people on buses that would come up to me and say, do you remember me? And I'd be like, yeah, you look familiar to me. She says, I'm Felicia. Do you remember? I was in your class, and now I'm a successful nurse. I listened to what you said to me, and really, it at the end of the day, what we need to hear is just, you can do it. All the negativity, all the demonic voices in your head, the demon of doubt, that you can't do that. That's impossible. You don't have this degree. You don't have that degree. James doesn't have a big license in growing orchids, but I'm sure that he could grow orchids like nobody else. He's told me as much. And I've seen him grow other plants. He's unbelievable. And chickens. And he just has a natural feel for nature. So is he appreciated in the Matrix? He might get a slave job somewhere, and in a garden center, and they'll yell at him all day long. And he's just grateful to have a place to sleep and some food in his belly, because he's been beaten down by this incredibly difficult system. And I highly recommend, if you haven't read Atlas Shrugged, you do so. It is, and the first 200 pages are going to be a bitch. It's a 1,000-page document. It's very hard to read. I would also read the trilogy, the Lord of the Rings, even though it was written by a Mason. We all struggle with the personal Gollum. We all want the ring. We want to have everything. But there's a world beyond ego, beyond personal victories, where you are part of a unified field, like Tartary, like Tartaria. You are part of a community that excels. We work together up here. We don't have. I don't say, James, I can't do that. I'm Ellie Weber. I'm a podcaster. I mean, no. Whatever work has to be done, whatever grunt work. I mean, I'm the dishwasher of the community. I do most of the dishes here. I don't complain about it. I mean, maybe I'm complaining a little bit about it. I would like to have a better system. We're fixing to buy a big sink. If you want to donate, that would be nice. We're planning to buy a big sink. A big sink. Venmo, yeah, PayPal, like a commercial sink. It costs $630. It has 2 sinks and 2 side panels. So that I want to hook that up. So I'm doing dishes now in this little thing inside the RV for the whole community, the 3 of us. I want to have a bigger sink. We want to have a bigger sink. We want to have hundreds of people up here training and learning and sharing with each other and giving to each other and telling each other, I tried this, I tried that, but this is what really works. This is going to be, like, in my mind, kind of an extension, an improvement on the old hippie gatherings, that this will be a place of purpose, of intent, of kavana. And so too the channel. The channel is going through a long transition away from news, and I'm I don't like the idea of not talking about the medical community and the vaccines. I don't, but I'm willing to bend to the community's will and sort of stick to the subject. James went to get his bass. I'm going to get my guitar. We're working on a new song. We're hoping that our friend down the street, down the way, that we're going to produce and record this piece up here in the mountains, in the Aquarius Mountains of Arizona. I like the idea of going back to Nashville, but I have 3 songs that were produced in Nashville. They're beautiful. I love them. So that's it. I also want to give, just while I'm here, let's see if there are any comments that I missed, like your uncle who enjoyed washing dishes. Right. Yeah. I had an Uncle Clarence. I told my mother today, I said, I'm the Uncle Clarence of the community. I like washing dishes. I don't think to myself, oh shit, I gotta wash the dishes. It's like, okay, man, I get to chill out. I get to, it's really a meditation. I'm not a very good dishwasher. I'm not so good at it. Daniela doesn't like the way I do dishes, but I do it. But yeah, my Uncle Clarence loved to wash dishes. There's a certain genius to this kind of behavior. In the Matrix world, you consider a dishwasher. I'm a corporate executive. I'm a real parasite. I'm an ultimate parasite. I give people a hard time all day long about, here is creative. Here you see your creative work manifest. You may be working on a tree, a fruit tree, a nut tree, a certain kind of plant. Like we have bok choy, or we have a tremendous harvest of bok choy right now that James planted. You could learn from James how to deal with chickens and plants. You could learn podcasting from me and Daniela. You could learn carpentry. I think Lawrence, my friend Lawrence, is coming back. I want to share his videos, but I haven't figured out how to do it. Just download it. Okay, I'll figure out how to do it. There's a lot of pressure in here to me to do it, but he may come back to the community. He likes to do carpentry. He's also a podcaster. We're up for the. He's living on the edge, man. He's MK Ultra. He's been MK Ultra, and he has forces that are leading him that most people wouldn't put up with. But we're just like, okay, man, come on up. I'm laughing at okay, like your uncle, everyone's good at something. Yeah, you're good. Yeah, everyone is good at something. I don't know what Pandama is. Let's see. Did we lose him? Okay, cool. Yeah. Add me on your Discord. Yeah. Okay. So you guys are communicating. That's what I want. I want people to cross pollinate here. We have bees, by the way. Everyone, whenever I go on X, they say, "Oh, the bees are dead." We got bees. We got bees all over the place because we're kind to them. We give them water. We're growing plants that they like. We're good to the bees, and we love bees. So anyway, yeah, that's it. If you want to contribute, that would be great. If you want to come up here and live with us, that's great too. If you want to just stay on the channel and support the channel, I don't think YouTube will ever let me get monetized because I'm there. Because I realize today, the people who advertise are corporate people. I'm not a corporate person. I'm not interested in making it better for the corporate class of people who have robbed humanity of their birthrights. Right. Marjorie Taylor Greene is telling people not to pay their taxes. I've been telling people that for years. I don't pay taxes except when I go to a store. By the way, Nevada, man, that's where we're picking up nice, cheap. I have enough plywood now. Daniela was like, let's get the trailer out and go to Vegas. There are 12 Home Depots. I could go from Home Depot to Home Depot and get plywood at 70% off. And what? and Lowe's. Okay, we could go. We could fill up our big trailer with 100 sheets of plywood, but I have what I need right now for now. But this is the kind of thinking that we do up here. We're not in the matrix. We use the matrix. We figure out ways around the matrix so we can buy things at off-grid prices. Um, did you get the 50K? I can't really see so well here. Okay, let me move. I'll move just a little bit. Um, okay, Shivas. Yeah, we watching from the Bronx, New York. Pasquale, man, hey, you've been following me for a long time. We came from New York. We're a couple of New Yorkers, man. We're building a house on 170 acres in the middle of the Mojave Desert in the mountains, 8 miles from the highway up a dirt road. And every day we do the impossible. We don't pat ourselves on the back. We just get up every day and say, what do we need to do today? I have a conversation with James. I'm like, okay, let's do this. You do that. You want to do this, you do that. And I want him to do what he loves to do. We don't work together on projects because he's an artist and he has his own ideas of what he wants to build. So I'm just like, James, just do it, man. And he leaves me alone. He doesn't say, Ellie, you really should have done it this way. It's like, this is a place to develop your talents. This is a community. This is a life preserver for people who are creative people who don't just talk. If you're talking about it, we're not interested. We want people who do, who act, who have grit. And if you want to build an underground home on our northern slope and watch the trees, watch us grow a plantation of trees and help us, come on, man, we'll feed you. We'll help you. You won't have to pay rent. You'll be good. There could be other people that are more interested in sending us money to make sure that this place succeeds in case when they retire or when they decide to leave the matrix, they'll have a place to go. Or they'll come here for a month, learn what we do, and do it themselves. There's all kinds of land up here. Nobody wants to live here. And people are getting old and people are, you can get things at auctions and stuff like that. There's nicer land. We don't have trees, but if you go another 500 feet up on this old ranch, you can get places with beautiful trees. It looks like Greece up there in my mind. It looks like the Greek islands. Yeah. Yeah, you could come here for a week and say, I like what you're doing, but I want to buy my own land and do what you're doing. What? Neighbors are moving out. Neighbors get divorced. There's a lot of potential. There are places that already have wells on them, but you may want to do it yourself. I'm not opposed to that. I'll have you as a neighbor a mile away, 3 miles away. I'll be like, oh yeah, man. Joe came and he bought some property and he's one of us. This may be a way for us to grow a real human Tartarian civilization again. Oh, I just came up with a free energy device. Can I share it with you, Ellie? Like, yeah, sure, man. We just found a new way to use plywood. We just found a new way to use hempcrete. We're all working on the same idea here, and we're off grid. We're out of the matrix. You could buy a place for not so much money compared to buying a house. You could buy a house somewhere. You could spend $300,000, $200,000, and have a comfortable place to sit and watch TV and have air conditioning. Or you could spend half that, come up here in an RV, and build something that your ancestors will value. It's like, yeah, my grandpa, Paul built this incredible structure in the Mojave Desert, and I'm going to go live there for a couple of years while I get myself together. You won't, it's not like, well, do I have the correct insurance, right? Do I have the license? Fuck that. That's going to be gone anyway. Can I pay the taxes? Well, right now we are paying property taxes. Will we be paying property taxes in another year? I doubt it. I think the whole system is going to be taken down, but it could be that this is a Dolores Cannon moment where you have to make, and this is my personal opinion, that you have to decide. You can stay in the matrix, you can stay with both feet in the matrix, or you can leave the matrix. Whatever you decide is fine, but it's your decision. And there is another way. There's a fourth way, as Gurdjieff would say. There's another way. I'm very much into the Gurdjieff model of enlightenment. I've seen his people, and they're exceptional. I've seen their auras. They're unbelievable people. You may achieve enlightenment through Christianity or Gnostic or whatever, wisdom, or just by doing your own thing, like Siddhartha from the story Siddhartha of Hermann Hesse, another great novel that I highly recommend. Atlas Shrugged, Siddhartha, Damien, all these books. So that's it. I at the end of the day, what you guys should be proud of yourselves for the progress you made. Yeah, it made it the homestead. Truly incredible. I think so. I think it really is truly incredible. But if we, and that's what I say to James, if we stop to say, is it possible what we're about to do? We would think and we thought it through rational matrix lens of thinking about things. We'd be just like, there's no way, man. Let's go back to New York. I'm not going back to New York ever. Maybe to visit my son. But we are determined to make this work. And if we want to share what we've learned. We live on solar panels. We have an RV. We are moving out of the RV hopefully soon. And we want to build a community. We want to build a teaching facility for people to learn. If you don't know how to do what we do, come and live with us for a while and then do it yourself or stay with us. But we do not have the excuse to say there's no way out of the matrix anymore. This is a way out of the matrix if it's for you. It may not be for you. It's not for everyone. There's no water up here. I mean, there is a creek about 10 miles from here. If you have a proper vehicle, you need a 4-wheel drive vehicle really to get up here. Although we had a subscriber came up with a Tesla, which was amazing. And I think you could do it if you really wanted to, but I don't recommend it. Anyway, the point is that you are you and you are special, and you may not be a big success in the matrix. I'm not a big success. I'm not Joe Rogan. They will not monetize me on YouTube. I have not won my lawsuit against the Department of Education. I haven't been able to settle these various other lawsuits. But I'm doing it anyway. I don't care. I don't care if all the doors in the universe close. I will open the one door I need to walk through to keep this thing going. And that's really what it takes at the end of the day, in my opinion. That's the kavana. Is like, I don't care. That's what, like, getting out here cost us a lot. We went through 3 vehicles. It was very difficult to get here. And I just kept telling the crew, we're going to go. I don't care what it takes. I don't care how much silver I have to spend. I'm going to my land. And when I got here, I thought to myself, OMG, it's bad enough that I did this to myself, but now involving Daniela, an innocent, beautiful young woman. She's up here dependent on me. What have I led her into? I have my doubts, but I just kept going. We stayed at sleazebag hotels for a couple of weeks. We found she only ate carnivore at the time. It was I didn't know how to feed her, but we just kept going, and we've created a lifestyle, a way of doing things, We go on supply runs. We understand that. We go less and less. And hopefully in the near future, we won't have to go at all. We we know how to deal with certain situations. Some situations we don't know. We had a chicken that was killed the other day. And James is like, it's different here. It's not like he's used to in Oregon. The predators are fierce and relentless, and so we have to have the grit to just suck it up, and we're gonna have to buy another rooster. It's we're not like, okay, man, that's it, I'm out. That's not an option for us, and it shouldn't be an option for you. Okay, so yeah, I think the sun is new, and but I'm saying that what we're doing this not only for ourselves. We're doing this to show you guys that you can do it. That if you, with a little bit of grit and a lot of divine favor, you can do whatever you want to do. It doesn't have to be this. Okay, so I'm gonna share a song. By the way, we're gonna be playing more music up here now. This is unbelievable that James went to get his bass. That he plays bass guitar, and he has a bass that was sitting in a pawn shop. And I said, let's. I paid for it. I said, I'll pay for the rental car. I'll pay for the instrument. Let's get it. And hopefully he'll inspire us. And we're hoping that our friend in the neighborhood will have a speedy recovery, please God. And if you need anything, if you're listening to the channel, you know who you are. We will help you in any way we can. We're busy, but we love you and we respect you. This is a man who's been living off grid for like 30 years. He goes to town like once every 2 months. He's an absolute legend. But he also has a recording studio, and we really want to record our music here in the middle of the Mojave Desert, because there's a certain grit here that regular, that is not translatable. Okay, so let's just think positive. Just know that you are the one. All right, let's play New Morning today. It's a new morning. This is a new sun. Before I go, let me also share. Let me share this. If you have a humanitarian project, we sent our initial proposal to Paul, right? Ellie's Warriors on it. They're looking for people to put humanitarian projects. I don't think this is the same. I mean, I don't think this is the same thing that Mark Z has been talking about for forever. I don't resonate that much with the idea of telling people that the dinars, yes, will it be revalued? I think so. And he's saying, people spent whatever. Anyway, I don't want to go into that. It's just that reach out to Paul if you have a humanitarian project. There is talk about getting funding for humanitarian projects, so reach out. Certainly join the Republic. Let me put that piece up here. Make sure you're a member of the Republic. Join the Republic. Volunteer for local service near you as we get ready for the elections. And also keep in mind that we really thank the people who are supporting us by getting these incredible patches that, for me, are life-changing. I'm sleeping every single night. I think it's the water machine, the X2O machine. It is, if you drink from that water, it is light infused water. It resets your body. It is absolutely amazing. So I highly recommend you reach out to Dr. Stacy, who is the kindest, most intelligent person and highly successful. We're not against monetary success. It just hasn't come my way in that respect. But I'm not against it. But reach out to Dr. Stacy, tell her what your issues are. She will help you get to the source of the problem, not just the symptoms. I had a bad back. I couldn't sleep. I was napping during the day. I couldn't balance on one foot. I was peeing all the time since I was about 50 years old. I don't do that anymore. My body knows how to repair itself. Probably the new sun is helping. I'm not saying that it's not, but we want to thank everyone and invite you to come and try the LifeWave product. It's for us, it's life changing. This is X39 that resets, stimulates stem cell production, not the way the doctors want to do it, and glutathione production, all these things. It's letting your body cure itself. It really works. I mean, that's all I can. I'm just living proof. And so we invite you to reach out to Dr. Stacy. She's a great person. She'll get you started. She'll tell you what you need, and you probably become a brand partner is the best way. And you can share it with others. We would love to see people become successful. If you can do it.
Even if you share the water machine, you get $1,500 bonus instead of $1,000.
And if you become a brand partner and you share the water machine for a limited time, you will get $1,500. So that's good incentive. We're not, you're sharing something that really helps people, and I don't think that's a bad thing. So let's listen to the tune. But thank you again for supporting us in that way, and let's listen to our caption hit. Okay, I'll choose another. All right, so let's listen to New Morning. It's a new morning. You can change your mind at any time and do what you're really meant to do. So let's chill out on this. I can't hear it. You hear it? Okay, so apparently you weren't able to hear it. Should we try it again? Let's try it again. Now let's try. Let's try. Okay. Wait a minute. Okay, let's try that again. I don't know why it didn't. Why you didn't get the sound. Let's try. We'll try another song. But let me know right away if you hear it. In the courtyard, I surrender on the street. I surrender my ambitions and the ways of deceit. Sweet surrender, language of the heart. Sweet, sweet surrender, language of the heart. I surrender to our new love on any path it takes. In the beauty of this moment, there are no mistakes. Sweet surrender, language of the heart. Sweet, sweet surrender, language of the heart. We all need to come together round the language of the heart. We all need to come together round the language of the heart. It's an easy decision, don't you know you're a musician? We all need to sing together round the language of the heart. Love is a river, fear is a stone that I skip across the water on my gentle journey home. Sweet journey home. Sweet journey home. Sweet, sweet journey home. Sweet journey home. We all need to come together. We all need to come together. We all need to share together round the language of the heart. It's an easy decision, don't you know you're a musician? We all need to be together. We all need to sing together. We all need to dance together round the language of the heart. We all need to feel together. We all need to dream together. We all need to know together the language of the heart. Thanks, Grandma Linda. Thanks, Casey, Spacey Casey, and thanks to all of you for putting up with us and encouraging us and just being here. You really keep us going. Just knowing that you're out there, knowing that there's somebody listening, even though it's not. Yeah, 93. That's good. I mean, listen. I mean, it is good. What are you getting?
What?
How many people
People
are listening
listening on
to this?
X, Ramon.
Yeah, X. Anyway, it doesn't matter. But the fact that you are here, appreciate yourself, glorify yourself, understand that even though you were under the boots of these hostile invaders, 431. So it's a lot. It's a lot of people. I mean, if it was 3 people, it would be a lot of people. But just appreciate yourselves. Know that you are the one. You are Neo. We just finished watching The Matrix. You are Neo. You are the one. Everybody is the one. Everybody who has a mind that can think about thinking. You understand that you're a thinker. Let's see. I'm going this way. That's funny. Okay. So I'm learning how to work my studio. At any rate, may the force be with you. May you realize that you are the force. You are in charge of your destiny. Nothing. And if you, with a little grit and a little bit of, what kind of salt do you use? Salt R. A little bit of salt R. And by the way, we cook out every night. We have our big meal is usually on the fire. So if you like, and we're keto carnivore type people. If you're a great keto chef, man, you could do come up. We'll take care of you. But anyway, that's a little aside. But you are the one. You can do it with a little bit of grit and determination and a little encouragement from your brothers and sisters who understand what it's like to be a genius in a world that does not appreciate genius. They appreciate cooperation. They appreciate playing the game. They appreciate your fear because they are invested in harvesting your loosh. We're not about that. We're about peace and love and unity. Grandma Linda, thank you for encouraging me with the language of the heart. It's love is a river, fear is a stone that I skip across the water on my gentle journey home. Know that you are source. You are in tune. You are the frequency of source itself. And let's get out there with a big smile on our face and rock.